When I think of jerk chicken, I think of festivals, excitement, incredible spicing. But then when I think about making jerk chicken, I think of ingredients and a lot of them. Marinating. And even I'm not afraid to say, at the best of times, I can't be bothered with all of that. For that reason, I created this super easy, stress-free jerk chicken hack that requires minimal ingredients and zero time for marinating while still delivering maximum flavour as well as an incredible barbecue finish despite being cooked in a conventional oven. Producing jerk chicken that I guarantee will blow your knickers off. Okay, I'm going to start this party off with some nice free-range chicken. But to make things even easier for you, just buy the individual legs and the wings, because it makes life a lot easier. So you might be thinking, oh, I don't really want to touch the chicken. Just look at it this way. This little step here that's going to take 2 minutes is going to save you 24 hours marinating time. So roll your sleeves up and think nothing of it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the end bits of each leg. It is optional. I do like to do this because it makes things look a lot tidier, and when we're eating it later, it provides a nice clean handle to hold on to. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're not just going to score the skin, but we're going to take confident cuts right through the flesh of the chicken, right through the leg and the thigh, as deep as we can possibly go. We're going to make these cuts 1 centimetre apart. We'll do that on the legs as well as the wings. There's a few reasons we slice the chicken like this. Number one, it provides extra surface area to allow maximum crisping of that chicken skin. Number two, it allows that marinade a quick route in to the core of that chicken and even the underside, allowing us maximum penetration on the marinade without even having to turn the chicken over. Next, if you've got a wire rack, use one. I don't know what happened to my wire rack. I'm not trying to look fancy with these carrot trivets. They're not ideal. They probably will slip off in the bake, but for now, we're working with what we've got. Once we've elevated the chicken, we're going to season well with some nice sea salt flakes and then some cracked pepper. After that, we'll go in with about 2 teaspoons of dry thyme and then about 2 teaspoons of allspice that comes in the jar as well. Next, we go in with a Scotch bonnet sauce. This is made of primarily Scotch bonnets. It's important that you get Scotch bonnet or habanero sauce for this recipe. Don't just use any generic chili sauce off the supermarket shelf. It's not just about heat, it's about flavour as well. You need Scotch bonnets preferably, habanero if not. You can use a mix of the two, but don't go anywhere near sriracha. Forget about cayenne pepper, forget about regular chili sauce. You need either one of those. It's so important. And then finally, this little cheeky addition of some runny honey over the top. Don't be shy with it. This is going to elevate our char. It's going to create that barbecue-esque finish. That goes into the oven on high, on the top shelf. And when it starts to brown midway, we'll give it a nice basting and then return it into the oven until we're happy with that colour. In the meantime, we're going to make some nice tasty sides. And to see the size of this carrot, we're just going to julienne this by squaring off the edges and then just slicing through each side. Next, we're going to use some nice coriander stalks. We'll take the edges off just to keep things nice and crisp and fresh. Give it 2 or 3 centimetres, chop, another 2 or 3 centimetres, chop again. We'll add those to the bowl with some finely sliced white cabbage and a finely sliced couple of red onions. We'll finish that off with a nice finely chopped apple or two. Give it a nice seasoning with salt and pepper. A nice 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar or white wine vinegar, which I'm using here. And then about 4 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. For the rice, we're just going to use 1 builder's mug. I'm going to half fill this with rice, and then we're going to fully fill it with water, and that'll be the perfect ratio to allow that to boil over about 10 minutes on a rolling boil. Give us the most perfect rice. We're just going to cut around this mango. I like to go halfway, cut down, feel the seed, and then go off the side, and the skin should just come away nicely. Once the skin's away, we can just dice this up into little segments, and that's going to make the perfect addition to our rice. It's funny actually, because at this point the camera stopped working for the midway baste, but luckily I'd filmed this again a couple of weekends before. I did the same thing with the whole chicken, and this is basically what I'm doing. The chicken comes out, it's getting a nice crust already, and we're just going to spoon that over, and then once it's nice and spooned and lubricated, we're just going to drain off. We're going to drain off the remaining juice into the jug. We can just skim off any fat from the top of that. Add about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato puree. Give it a good mix. I've added about 2 teaspoons of corn flour to a drop or 2 of water. We'll add that in, heat it up, and that's going to be the most epic, thick jerk sauce. From being finely cooked, we can drain any remaining water and stir in our mango. Add in a few coriander leaves, then we can return that to the gas just until the mango starts to break down slightly and the rice becomes slightly sticky. Now it's time to plate. On goes our sticky mango rice, on goes the chicken, and then finally our chunky coleslaw. That absolute beast. Whoosh. If it wasn't so hot, I'd be eating with my fingers. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like button immediately. This will go toe to toe with any 24-hour, 48-hour marinade. Full of flavour. Takes me on that journey. Sweetness of the sauce cuts nicely through the bitterness of the coleslaw. It's incredible.